Thank you so much. All right. Hello, everybody. Hello, and happy Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. My name is Leigh Ralston, and I will be your teacher for today, for today's class. And welcome back. Thank you for everyone who's new here. Hello, and thank you for joining us. I am representing Faber-Castell USA. And of course, with Michaels, we are here to give you a totally free and fun class. Today's class is going to be all about fall. I don't know about you. I've been talking about this for the last 2 weeks, but I'm super excited about fall. Here in Northwest Arkansas, it's super beautiful. I know I say this a lot, but it's just really, truly beautiful with all the trees, the colors changing. And while I was putting my supplies together earlier, I was just thinking about how it's such a beautiful message. Fall is the beauty of letting go. Sometimes something has to die. Well, I hope not die, but you know how it is. The nature change and, and the leaves come back when it's spring and flowers bloom. So it's just a beautiful reminder. So I hope that you are ready to join me today. I hope that your supplies are out. I'll be talking about the supplies that I will be using. If you don't have it, it's okay. But I think at the end of this class, you're going to want to go to Michael's and get your own. So I'm going to switch over to my overhead, and we can get this class started. Okay, here we go. All right. Hey. Okay, so as you can see here, this is, I think I created this a month ago, because I have to create my classes a month before. And then I'm just looking at it. It's just so pretty. You can use this and frame this for sure. You can create your own card. But with anything, I think personalized anything is super special to me. But this is what we'll be working on. I will be using a journal. I got this from Michael's. It's a, I think, Dinah Wakely journal. So I love this because it has different surfaces, but I will be using with the canvas that's perfect for watercolor today. And then I will be using Faber-Castell's Albrecht Durer watercolor marker. Like what I said, if you don't have it, it's okay. If you have just watercolors, it will work great. If you have the gelatos, that will work great as well, especially with the technique that we will be doing today. And then I have just brushes. I have water. I will also be using maybe a water brush. I love using a water brush. I love it. It's a love and hate kind of relationship with me when it comes to the water brush pens, because sometimes it's like it has too much water. Sometimes there's not enough water. But it is just, sometimes it depends on if I practice a whole lot and then my hands are just light enough. It's okay. So if you don't have it, it's okay. Just regular brushes will work. Make sure you have 2 bowls of water. I recommend doing that because your water will get dirty after a while, and then everything's just going to get smoky, and that's not good. Okay, so the way I created this artwork, I just use a 4x6 photo paper. Now, if you don't have the 4x6, you can get a cardstock. There's some pre-made, pre-cut 4x6. And if not, just use your paper cutter and then create a 4x6, because basically we're going to leave a negative space for the inside for the lettering that we created here. And then we're just going to make this border or wreath on the outside. And so we're going to need something to create that negative space. All right. Okay, and then I will also be using a washi tape. I actually folded it already because this one is not sticky enough, and sometimes it's too sticky, so also be careful with that. So I kind of stuck it already earlier, make sure that it's not going to leave too much sticky residue, because it's going to maybe hurt the surface of this canvas. So I'm just going to eyeball things. If you like to measure your page, if you're using a 9x12 or a US letter, so just make sure that you can just measure things out. You have a 4x6 and all that. I'm not good at math, so I'm not even going to pretend, and not even going to try. So I'm just going to eyeball things here. So I'm just putting my card in the middle. I think it's in the middle. Let me see. All right. Sometimes you have to lift that up. So okay, because looking from the top, sometimes it's super different. Okay, so if you have the watercolor markers, these are the the Albrecht Durer. I love this one because the colors are super saturated and it's really vibrant and it's just super lovely. Did I see something that someone's having trouble with the view of the camera? Let me just, later we're going to zoom it in. I can zoom it in and zoom out and all that. So there we go. I think I'm going to need another sticky tape here, but I can just hold it down as well. So again, the Albrecht Dürer, I think I included in the list of the colors that I am going to be using, but I pulled out some here too. I really love to swatch my markers or my paints or my watercolors, just because I think that's when you can really tell the colors of your marker, especially with this one, the watercolor markers, because you can use this directly into your page this way. And these are watercolors, so it's water soluble. So you just get your water brush and then you can just start, make sure my brush is clean. So here we go. And then I kind of like to create my swatches so I know what it looks like when it's like painted directly into the page, and also what it looks like when it's blended with water. So that's the very reason why I love creating swatches like this. Anybody else can't speak today? Just me? Okay, just me. All right. This one is Pale Geranium Lake. And this one is Indian Red. The Albrecht Dürer watercolor markers is dual tip. So one is a bullet tip and the other end is a brush tip. So depending on your needs, you have both. I think my favorite part would be the brush, just because I can always fill in bigger spaces. But when I'm doing some monoline lettering, I also love the bullet tip. So you can see, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you guys can see what it looks like. And when you're creating swatches like this, you're really going to be sure, are these the colors that I really want to use? You know, so that one, and then I think we'll use the Scarlet Red. So I just create a box like that, and then I fill in the space in the middle, and then kind of just picking up those pigments and then just blending them around and see what they look like. It's so lovely. And then this color, the green gold, even with the Pit Artist, I love this color. It's just this perfect mustard color. Lovely. Just lovely. So this is perfect color palette for fall. As you can see, we have some reds, we have some yellows in here, golden yellows, and then we're going to have some browns. I think this orange might be too bright, but we're going to create a little bit of highlights anyway, so we're going to use it. Might as well just put it here just in case. This one is orange glaze. So if you have a light orange as well, you want to pick that up, or a lighter yellow maybe.
Hey, Lay, can you zoom out just a little bit?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So here we go. There. So this one is the orange glaze. Like that. And then I'll just try the dark chrome yellow as well. Ooh, this is a really pretty light orange. So might as well put that in there. We might use that too. So for this project, it's really simple. I mean, leaves, we're not going to make things complicated. I don't like to overthink things when I'm creating. I think it beats the purpose of being mindful and just, being in the moment. When I stress over something like an artwork, it's just like what I said, it beats the purpose of just relaxing, especially when you're working with any water medium. I think the purpose of that, especially to me personally, is that it's super relaxing. When I see the colors blend in with the water, I think that's it. It's like it's like meditating. right, that one is the dark sepia color or sepia. And then we have like a warm gray in here. So I'll have this one out too. You can actually use some red, deep reds too. You can use like a plum color if you'd like, you know, so you don't have to use exactly the colors I'm using today. If you want to switch around and play around, you can definitely do that. And then I pulled out a green as well, just in case I might need it. So this is the May Green 170. Right. And then I just have the black 199. All right, I think I'm happy with this palette. If you are, I think we're ready to begin. Okay. So as you can see, like that, we have greens, we have that warm gray, we have brown tones, we have oranges, and we have deep reds, and all that. Okay, so what I love about using the markers itself is because, like what I said, you can apply it directly. So sometimes you get enough control when you're applying the markers directly into your artwork. For me, with watercolor, it's super tricky because, like what I said, you're always using water to blend things and move the pigments around. And sometimes just a little bit of extra water, it messes the whole picture, but I think messes it create a beautiful mess. But sometimes when you're not, you know, wanting that kind of look, sometimes it's like stressful. So today we're going to create like a beautiful border of fall flowers in here. So for the, I guess I might have to use this one. For the leaves, we're going to create basic shapes, really just the leaf color. I'm going to show you using this marker directly. You can create your leaves this way. I like this shape to use, especially for fall. You can use that. And then I'll show you what it's going to look like when you move these. See, but today I am going to actually use the Albrecht Durer as a watercolor itself, where I'm going to pick up the pigments and will not use this as a marker like this. I am going to use a palette. If you have any like sleek surface or an artist palette this way, you can just get the brush tip like this. I'll move this around so you guys can see. And then just apply it in your palette like that. And then get your brush, make sure it has water, and then just pick it up this way. Look at that. Like that. And then we're just going to make our leaves. Oops, I forgot about the middle part. So I do the middle part first. And do that and do this. Okay, and then just fill in. And then we'll worry about the details later. We can add those, but we'll just worry about the shapes first, the initial shapes. So we have that one shape flower that way. And then I'm also going to use just the basic shapes like this.
Hey, Lay, you're out of the screen again.
Again.
And while I have you, what blue did you use?
Oh, blue? I didn't use any blue this time.
Okay.
I have a warm gray. That would be this one. And then we have a brown. So we don't have any blue colors today, but you can definitely use blue, hey, for the plum colors. And then we're going to use this shape as well. So I'm just showing you how I'm making it before I start working on the artwork itself. So basically we're going to create this middle part, and then we're going to create strokes like this, using just the tip of your brush and really applying very, very light pressure. The green color, okay, the green color is May Green. So this is May Green 170. All right, so I think we've got it all covered. Now we're going to work on this one. Now, this is going to depend on you, what you how you want your wreath to be. If you want it just on top and kind of like going down, or just the bottom going up, or if you want to do it the whole rectangle shape, or if you have a circle there, that's fine too. Okay, so I'm going to put my markers on the side. And I always recommend starting with your light color first. So I'm going to use 2 light colors in here. Like what I said, we have the yellow and then we have the green gold. So I'll start with these 2 colors in here, and then we can build up our colors darker. And I'm just going to be basically applying it in my art palette. You might not see that, but I'm just applying those colors. See, I'm just doing that. Then I'll pick up my brush, and then we'll start to draw flowers. Okay, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so to make sure that I stay in frame. And then here's my water. Then I also have a paper towel. If I have, you know, sometimes you have lots of water, and if you feel like you have that, then you just dab it. The one that I'm using today is a number 4 brush. I love the number 4 because it holds water a lot, and I just really like the way it spreads. Okay, so we're going to use light yellow first, and I'm just going to go start on the top. I'll work on the top first, and it's no problem if you write in this. Mine is a photo paper, but you can write in that cardstock because it doesn't matter, because basically what matter is the one that we leave a negative space on the middle part. Okay, so I'm just going to go randomly, and then be mindful of the shape of your leaves. Some are going down because you want it to be, you know, not looking too uniform. Just kind of like, I always start with my outline first, and then I just fill in the shape that I created by moving those pigments around. All right, dab that. And then I'll go move over here as well. Like with the direction of your leaves, I also like to play around with the sizes of my leaves. So you have like a small size, and you create like a medium size. There we go. I'm just careful so I don't put any artwork in the middle part, but if you do, it's okay. I mean, it's not the end of the world. So I'm just picking up over here. So I just want to make sure I have 2 on the right side and then 2 on the left, and then I'll put maybe 2 small ones in the middle too. And if you're using a watercolor pad, which is really good, when every time you work with a water medium, you should be using a water pad. The palette, you know what? I've had this for a very long time. It's just, just an artist palette. Okay, and then I'll create 2 tiny ones in the middle. So we have 2 on the left, 2 on the right. We'll create like 2 over here too. 2 over here too. Like this. And then next week's class is we're going to have a fun fall again, but we'll be using with the gelatos. I love working with the gelatos too, because there's so many tricks that I like to use with the gelatos. And I want to share them with you. This is so relaxing. You know, the best part when you do this, maybe you can like hum a song or 2 when you're painting. It just makes everything much better. So you have 2, 2, 2. All right, now I'm going to move over to my dark. This is the green gold, kind of like a darker yellow shade. So I'm just dabbing and moving those pigments, and I'll go on top of that. So just adding the middle part. kind of like the veins of your leaves. Repeat the same process. I think the more shakier my lines are, sometimes I like it even more because it just looks super random and real. I'll repeat that same process. When you're trying to create like very thin lines, always remember it's all about the pressure that you apply in your brushes. No matter it's a brush pen or like real water brushes this way, it's all about the pressure. So when you're trying to create thin strokes, remember to use the very tip of your brush and go really, really lightly. I like that these ones are super kind of like washed out because they were still very wet. And then I applied the darker shade. So I might have to go back in there later just to kind of make those darker colors sharper. Okay, so we have the yellows. Now I'm going to go over to my oranges. And I think I am going to try and use two colors again. We have the Scarlet Red and we have Pale Geranium Lake. Okay. You can just clean up your palette. I'm just going to apply my orange glaze, Pale Geranium, and then the scar. I'm going to use 3, so I can just have 3 colors in my palette. Right. And I'm still going to concentrate on the top part of this one. So use my light orange first. Just watch your artwork and see how random the leaves are going to be. And I think I'm going to change the size of my, or the shape of my leaves too. I'm going to create a more just basic shape. I don't want this one anymore. Okay, that's the last one. I'll create just regular leaves this way. Like that. And then just fill in the middle part, right, like that. So I'm still working on the lightest orange color. See, notice how I'm just using the very tip of my brush. And then when I want to create a much thicker stroke, I'm just applying pressure. But basically, I use the very tip, and that's how you can create those very thin lines like that. And then here, I'm going to apply a little pressure to create a thicker stroke, and then just spread it around. My wet is getting dry, so I'm just going to dip in my water, pick up some color, and then just do it. Just like that. All right, and now that I'll wait for that to get dry, I'm going to go over on my left side. I'll repeat the same look. So just this way. And remember to move your canvas around or your journal around. Don't be shy to move it. You know, you can't, don't strain yourself. And sometimes if you have to go over here on top, my hands are on top of my notebook now. So just so I can do this, but if you like, you can just switch your notebook around, move your notebook around, don't strain yourself, but I have a camera, so I have to just kind of go with the flow here. But you should not restrain yourself from moving your notebook. Whatever makes it much more easy for you and comfortable as well. so pretty. The colors are so beautiful. Wake me up. And it's also my birth month. I love September. I'm using a number 4 brush. Just like that. Oops. See, when I go a little too thick, it's like, ooh. Or too heavy, then my strokes gets a little too thick. That's okay. There. Look how beautiful that is already. The colors are just so lovely. Okay, then I'm going to go over to the medium color, the next color. This one is the Scarlet Red, the 118. And then I'm just going to create more leaves like that. Same shapes, just long leaves like this. Some leaves will have to overlap. So you kind of like overlay them on top of one another. How relaxing is this? All right, and then this one, I want to make sure this one goes over here. So move your leaves around. Some are facing to the right, maybe some are going down. I think that's one thing that I had to really work on when I started working on florals and leaves like this, because everything was too uniform. I'm like, okay, it looks like everything is just not real, just because everything was too tight, you know? So when you want to lose watercolor, you want everything to kind of just flow together. So to do that, everything must, you know, not a mess, but kind of like randomly, just make sure it's loose, your movement, the leaves, you know, some are facing to the right, some are facing to the left. All right, now I think I'm going to add just a little bit of that medium color as well, and just add just a tiny bit over here to my right, kind of like sneaking, peeking. So sometimes just the tip of those leaves are there. I don't know about you, but I'm really naturally heavy when I'm writing. So I struggle with working with water brushes, just because, like I said, I write heavy, but it's really a good practice. There is nothing you cannot do with practice. So I'm just bringing those colors together also. Yeah, when it's water-based, it's water soluble. I love art supplies like that you can use both ways. See, when you have your lightest color, when you do your lightest color first, and when you start building your colors again from medium to dark, it's kind of like the way it overlaps, it becomes more natural. So I think I'm going to stop with that one, but I love it. All right, the red one that I have, we're going to create, some sticky things coming out. What do you call those? Branches, like really random branches here. We could do this with a brown, but I think I want to make this softer and not have a lot of dark browns here. So make sure this time you kind of step aside and stop first and analyze your whole artwork and say, okay, where is the direction I'm heading from here? You know, sometimes you really have to do that, because when you're like constantly very in the moment, you're just moving things around. It's like, oh, it's kind of out of control this time. So just make sure, kind of pause a little bit and look at it again and say, okay, I'm heading in the right direction now. All right, so here I'm just going to add a little bit of that skinny branches going out, no leaves whatsoever. So You can do this with a brown, but I think I'm going to just stick with this red color. I really like it. And again, the more random it looks, it's kind of like, I like it better. So we just have that. See, and I'm going to stick one over here too in the top left area, maybe in between this orange right here. Okay. That. So just by using just the tip of my brush, I'm just going slowly. That kind of looks weird, but we'll go with it. Just like that. I love the colors. Oh my goodness, everything looks so lovely. Everything looks lovely. All right, I think I'm gonna go start. No. Let's add just a little bit of brown. And the way I'm gonna do my brown, it's kind of like, I'm just adding 3 and I'm gonna apply this one directly into my, like this. Just add this little tiny things. Just like that. I'm gonna go over those with my brush as well so we can soften that look. Make sure you dab. If you have too much water, you might create a, pool of mess in there. So just enough water. I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit so you guys can see. So I'm just gonna soften it. All right, and then move over here. Repeat that same process. You can do the reds in here too. So you can do vice versa. You can do the brown and those branches that we created, and you can do the berries and the reds. So it's up to you, but I kind of want to play things around today. All right, so we have that. And then I'm just going to go over the oranges, the light oranges, and just pick up some of the reds that I have left here in my palette. And then we're just going to go over this. It's just adding the veins of our leaves. What you can do if you struggle with your thin strokes, what you can do is you can also use some colored pencils to add in details in your artwork. That's what I love to do as well when I'm working with some watercolors, because like I said, I always struggle with the thin lines. So sometimes just using another medium helps a lot. Okay, I don't want to add too much in there because we have that branch. It might go a little too crazy. Just enough details. Okay, I like that a lot. Okay. Just gonna clean my palette because I need some yellows. I'm gonna go back and use the same 2 yellows that we used earlier. Just cleaning my palette here because the colors will blend, so be mindful of that. Just applying this. And then the green gold that we have. And then we're going to repeat the same process. So this time, my leaves will be facing up more, but everything will still be random because it's kind of like some are facing down, some are going up, because we need to frame the inside of this. And I feel like by looking at my artwork now, I feel like I just need a little bit of yellow over here. Okay, so I'm going to pick up just pretty small leaf here. There, just a little bit. All right, and then pick up some water and then pick up some pigments, and I'll start working on the bottom part. Create two big ones just to frame the whole picture. I think when you have like two bigger images for this one, it helps to really build that frame. And then just adding small leaves will just kind of like fill in that space. But having those bigger leaves that we added earlier will really help frame the whole picture together. And look at the way I do my leaves. It's just really super loose. I'm just going to go add the colors. Nothing is perfect here, just loose watercolors. There we go. Just picking up more colors. Just here. Just like that. So it's kind of like wiggly lines really for the fall leaves. I'm just drawing two wiggly lines that just have a middle tip like that. Oops. But everything's kind of on the rounder side of things here with my leaves. So we have two over here, two over there. And then I think that's good. I'm going to start with my light orange. Just put it here in my palette. And then I'll start adding those long ones. I'll add the details later when it's just a bit dry. Come here and just add my leaves here. One is facing over there, the other down. I'll just create a long middle part. So you know how when we do our stick figures, we just have one stick in the middle. It's kind of like same thing with the flowers, really. And then you make your arms. Two arms that way. Make my arms over here. So it's so pretty. And then let's see over here. And then I'll create my two arms. Like that. Pick up more of that orange color. I think this journal is also pre-gessoed. I think the surface has been gessoed already, the one that I'm currently using. So we're just going to create leaves, and that one in the middle. I feel like my leaves at the bottom is bigger than the ones I have on top. So I might have to change that. I'll just add just a little bit more skinnier leaves. I'll use the red again. Let's put it on this side. And then this time I'll just start adding just smaller leaves this time around. I feel like everything is just too big. Okay. Sometimes I get too excited. and everything's just on the bigger side. And the way I do my lettering also, oh man, I have big handwriting. And then when I do hand letter, everything just seems on the bigger side as well. So that just allows me to kind of like pay attention and to really be mindful of what I'm doing. When something is not natural to me, then that's when I kind of like have to really slow down and really pay attention. Because writing big and drawing big feels natural. So when I have to write and draw small, that's when I become more mindful of things. So now I'm just adding that regular shape of leaves here. Just adding a little bit of water. I think just playing with watercolors or any water medium really supplies. I think it's a game of, is it too much or too little? And now I think I definitely need a little bit of red over here onto my right side. So I need a little bit more. See everything here. This one's so tiny. This one is just, we're just going to correct things here. Just add a little smaller set of leaves into the right side. There. So all the colors are divided in our canvas here. Just add a little bit here. Smaller pieces. Let's see. Also be careful if your piece is still wet. Sometimes you can smudge it with your hands. I know I do that a lot, and I just did it. That's why I'm like reminding you to just be careful with that. There we go. Need a little bit more water. Having a paper towel on the side really helps dabbing those excess waters that you don't like. I feel like this is good. Let's see, zoom out just a little bit so you guys can see this. Okay. With maybe this one, I can add my browns as my branches. So everything's just different. So I'll just add a little bit of brown right over there. And I'll just let it dry just a little bit. So I'll go over the yellows and just add my small details in there using the darker yellow. But just be careful because remember, some are overlapping. So when it's wet and you apply another color on top of that, for it to blend, the chances of it bleeding and blending together are really great. So just be mindful that your colors might blend in when your canvas is still wet. So just be careful. So I want to make sure all the yellows, the first that we applied, are for sure dry already. So I'm just going to go over the yellow part and just going to add my details in here. But just be careful when you touch the orange and the red that we applied. All right. And then
Hey, Leigh, I have a question for you.
yes, ma'am.
There's a question asking if the colors can be mixed on the palette with the brush after they're out of the marker.
The colors are, oh yes, and that's one thing of the love that I really love about these markers, because as you can see here, we have like two colors blend in together. So you can most definitely blend those two colors and create your own palette. And that's why I don't have a whole lot of colors for the Albrecht Durer, but knowing that I can blend and create my own colors are always a big plus to me. So yeah, we created this beautiful like orange here. So might as well use that one. Just add leaves over here. See, it's kind of like burnt orange that we created from that light orange and that gold yellow. Just add a little bit more. There. I feel like I need just add here. All right, then you can add your branches and then you can add your berries. I'm going to add just my, I think we're going to do with the brown this time. I don't know. No, I'll just do the berries. This. And this is the beautiful thing about the markers is because as you can see here, the way I did the berries here are just kind of like not dots at all. Because I always struggle with using the brush when I'm creating like small details. So being able to use the tip of the marker is really a big bonus. Just create this. Here we go. I am going to create my branches and then we're going to work on the lettering on the inside, which is very beautiful. Since I used the red with some of the leaves, I'm going to show you, I'm going to pick up a little bit of that brown, this brown over here, and then mix it with this red so we can create a much deeper red here, almost like a red wine, like that. So let's add our branches here. I'm going to go really soft and just use the tip of this brush. Ooh, that's a very pretty, like burgundy color, like red wine. It's super pretty. That dark brown and that red color. Lovely. It's such a lovely color. Yeah. Thick branch. It's so beautiful. I think I'm going to leave it this way. I'm not going to enclose it in. So I'm just going to leave it like that. Did you guys do the whole rectangle or you just did what I kind of did today? Now I am just going to add a little bit of details here and there because we don't have vines into this like that. So I'm just going to go over a little bit and just add my vines in here. Just add in your details. I love that it's different from the top, but at the same time, they all kind of match. I just love this look we created today. And guys, I really would love to see some of your creations for today. Please don't forget to tag us, Make It with Michaels, and also Faber-Castell USA. And please do stay in touch with me at Mommy Lay. Tag me so I can see. I love seeing all your projects and all your creations. All right, I think I'm good with my details here. Oh, this is so pretty. Since I have this look already in this journal, I might actually take this one out and frame this one. Okay, now for the reveal. Did we do a great job not making a mess? I am just going to lift this part. Ah, look, that's so beautiful. If you want, you can actually create, a border over here with a pencil using a ruler, but I'm going to leave it just like this. And I have the Pitt Artist pen in gold. This time I'm just going to add a little bit more berries everywhere, but in gold also. So just kind of like irregular dots. Let's see. So we're just going to create irregular dots in here. And I'm doing the rules of 3, that, and just spread them around. Make sure that they're tiny and not so big. So it's, sometimes when there's like too much patterns going on, it's just a little bit overwhelming in the eyes. So just keep things in the very small. There we go. And I'll go on top. And again, everything is just, this is personal preference, because this is your artwork. If you feel like you don't have to add more berries, then just leave it the way as it is. Like that. Okay, so for the lettering, this lettering is really easy because I want you to really focus on your own handwriting. It doesn't have to be fancy, schmunchy. I want it to just, if you have to use the marker directly into this page, it's okay, but really you should try and use a brush pen with a watercolor, like how we applied all these. And so good vibes only. I think I want the vibes to really pop. So I'm going to go from light to dark as well. So good will be in the mustard yellow. I really love this color. I know I say that a lot, but I really do. So I'll have that. And then I'll use the Indian red. And then maybe I'll do the warm gray. Yeah, let's add a little bit more color in here. Whoop, hear that? And then I'll do the Indian red. Yeah. So good vibes only. So we have 3 words. And this is what I always kind of like want you to remember when you're working with a lettering piece, because this is a question I get asked a lot. How do you prepare your canvas, or how do you know where to put the words? Well, right now we have 3 words, good vibes only, and we have this rectangle shape, right? So you can make the good, and it always helps if you're going to do this in another scratch paper. It's kind of like it's easier to visualize things when it's on the other. It's when it's on another scratch page. We can do good vibes or write it with a pencil first. It always helps too, but we're running out of time, but I really want to do this with you. So we're going to do good vibes only. I want to do the good in printed, and the only is also printed. We're going to just do the vibes in a very beautiful lettering, like how we did and created our strokes, the thin strokes. That's how we're going to do that beautiful brush lettering as well. Everything is going to be depending on your pressure. So for the thick strokes, you're going to have to apply a little bit of pressure in there to kind of get those thicker strokes. So when you go up, every single time you go up, that means it has to be thin. Every time you write towards you, you'll apply pressure and you'll create some thicker strokes this way. Okay, so are you ready? I'm kind of nervous too. So good vibes only. I'm going to do the good over here. So start with my mustard yellow. Okay. Making sure I have lots of colors in my brush. What helps also when I was just first starting is that I kind of do the first and last letter, but it works for me 50-50. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So I just kind of like really like to wing things around, winging things. So this is just a letter G, nothing fancy. So just G. Be mindful of your spaces, understand your amount of space that you have. So I know that I have 2 more letters left in the word good. So I want to stretch it out just a little bit more over here. And I think that's it with everything, whether it's you're working on an artwork, whether you're working on a lettering piece or a drawing, a watercolor piece, just be mindful and slow down, you know, really slow down and enjoy the process. So we're going to do the D over here. Good. There. I think that looks good. We'll do the only first. I'll do the vibes last. Good vibes. So we'll do the only first. And this time we're going to use the Indian red. And I'm going to use a different brush. I feel like I need more water. So vibes only. So we have 4 letters also. Woo! Why is it small? I feel like this is smaller. Vibes. So just use your print letters as neatly as you can. I mean, you can use stamps in here, you can use other things, but you know what? It's like your own handwriting, your own, you know, drawings. It just, everything is just more personal. And plus you enjoy more creative time too. Can't beat that. And if you're struggling with a brush, trust me, you're not alone. But with practice, makes it better. All right, now for the vibes. I think I'm gonna go use this water brush again from Faber-Castell. It's much better. I have much better control. Okay. If you want to learn more about lettering, we created a lot of workshop with lettering, and you can go over on Michael's YouTube channel and watch the replay of the recorded classes that we made. You're going to learn a whole lot, but really, like what I said earlier, it's all about the pressure that you're going to apply. So it's all about the thin and the thick strokes. I want the vibes to be really big. So I'm going to go over our line over here, imaginary line. So we have letter V. I'm scared. Okay. If your stroke is not perfect the first time, it's okay. You can go over this again later. Okay. Letter B. I hope that you had fun in this class today. I know I did. It was super relaxing. And I hope you join us again for next week, same time. We have 2 o'clock, I believe I'm correct. It's going to be 2 o'clock again, and we're going to create more fall illustration using the gelato. So more watercoloring, so more relaxing time with me. My name is Leigh Ralston, and I truly had fun with all of you. On behalf of Faber-Castell USA, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been truly an honor teaching you today and spending this 1 hour of fun and relaxing class Hold on. So I hope that was fun. Thank you, everyone. Please don't forget to tag us if you created something today. We would love to see it. And like what I said earlier, we hope to see you again next week. As always, stay creative. Please do stay safe, healthy, and stay well. Until next time. Bye, guys.